Magandang araw po mga kaibigan. Alam po ninyo, maraming mga balitang lumalabas ngayon. Yung mga balitang yan, nakaka-intriga sapagkat merong mga sinasabing mga komunista, merong mga red tagging. So we decided to invite Sister Mary John Mananzan na nabanggit na isa sa mga komunista. Pero ang kwento, hindi naman pala komunista, kundi komunista. Yun. Nagkukomunyon na komunista sapagkat naniniwala sa pagkakaisa ng mga komunidad. Pero kasama rin natin ngayon si Attorney Corazon Valdez Fabros. Hindi ko na siya makilala dahil maputi na ang buhok niya. Walang tina ito. Pero sa totoo lang po, magkakasama kami sa Student Catholic Action noong dekada 70. Siya po ay dating ingat yaman. Anong araw pa yon? Pero siguro, let's start the ball rolling. Simulan natin kay Sister Mary John. Sister Mary John, magandang araw po. Ano po yung inyong pakiramdam nung sabihin kayo ay komunista? Sister Mary John. Yes.
Sabi ko nga, hindi ko alam na meron palang card na binibigay ang komunista. Kasi sabi nung si Badoy, ako daw ay card bearing, no? Hindi ko man alam na nagbibigay ng card. Ano bang itsura ng card na yan? Nakakatawa nga eh.
Pero for the information of our viewers, our listeners, tell us what have you been doing for you to be branded as
Ang hirap kasi dito sa atin, if you are working for justice, if you are for the poor, if you are wanting to be on the side of the oppressed, komunista ka na. Sa akin, that is really parang, bakit hindi sinabi, Kristiyano ka pala kasi ginagawa mo yun. Bakit komunista ka pala? Ibig sabihin pala, ang gumagawa ng justice, ang gumagawa ng for the poor, and who are working for the oppressed, ang tingin nila, komunista lang ang gumagawa nun. Hindi ba insulto yan sa mga ibang other groups? Kasi hindi sila, kung sinabi na, she's working for justice, she's working for the poor, siguro Kristiyano yan. Hindi eh. Ang sasabihin, komunista yan. O sino ang kanilang binibigyan ng credit? Diba?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yun ang ginagawa ko, which I think everybody should do. That, sa akin, ang aking I am a Christian. Ngayon, sabi mo, ang religious daw is supposed to be radically following Christ. Now, Christ has an option for the poor, has a special option for the poor. Now, if I am a follower of Christ, then I should also have an option for the poor. Ang simple naman ang logic noon, di ba?
Mm-hmm. Okay. We will go deeper into your apostolate. Pero matanong ko muna si Attorney Cora Valdez Fabros. Attorney Cora, ano ang nasusulat sa batas para masabi natin na mayroong mga komunista in our midst? Coming from the legal profession, how do you feel about that? Attorney Cora? Yes?
Cora na lang, Melo.
Yes. Okay. Ayaw pa mag-spotlight Sige.
It's
okay.
Really here, kaya medyo fluctuate yung ating
sound.
Ating internet, the signal.
Okay. Well, dealing with these issues on.
Yes.
Nawala siya.
Nawawala.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, ito Sister Mary John, hindi ko maintindihan kung paano tayo magkakaroon ng blended instruction sa eskwelahan. Hindi mo maasahan yung internet.
Oo nga. Kung meron ka pang 30 students, di ba? Tayo tatatlo na nga lang eh.
Hindi mo magkaintindihan. Subukan natin ulit. Cora, yes. Baka sakaling gumanda na yung signal.
Yung sound mo.
Okay naman siya. Hindi naman siya nakamute. Cora?
Oo. Pero hindi natin marinig.
Yeah,
okay.
But we have to see you. Okay, good.
Nagpa-fluctuate yung internet.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, responding to your question, Melo, actually we have enough law, that defines this, that tells us what it is. But what's really worrying these days is that we have the latest one is the anti-terror bill. and there are many concerns that has been expressed because it goes actually beyond the constitutional provision. So even our lawmakers, they have to observe the provision of the law. Halimbawa, period of detention. Halimbawa, no? Kung merong inaresto, doon sa ating constitution, malinaw na it should not be beyond 72 hours. Pero dito sa anti-terror bill, 14 days yata, no?
Yeah, 14 days.
Even more. So that should and then there are other things like who would define who are terrorists, no? Sino ba talaga? So napaka-labo. Kaya nga kanina nakikinig ako dun sa isang forum na online din. Pinag-uusapan yan, no? At there are two areas where you have to look at this, no? The law itself and the implementers. So that the second one is really the worrying aspect of it, no? When we leave this to a group of mostly men, especially in the military, the training that you get from the military institution, you are trained to kill, diba? You're trained to, even to the extent of learning how to torture and to intimidate people, just so you get the information that you like. So that is, I think, for most people, even for us lawyers, that is where the difficulty lies. No, the provisions of the anti-terror bill that goes beyond what our Philippine Constitution allows. And I think that even Sister Mary John, this is an old story, di ba? Ang tagal-tagal na yan. And I think Sister Mary John wouldn't be surprised na yan yung ano, no? She would be red tagged. But what is worrying is that the people who are meant to implement, observe the Constitution are the ones that are trying to come up with a law that is against the Constitution, and even the rights and privileges and the powers that they kind of impose upon themselves, no, arrogate upon themselves, and that is not good in terms of governance. Worrying yan kasi you become a target. Ibig sabihin, ang daming pwedeng mangyari sa'yo. And I think that this is the worst that so far that we have, this anti-terror bill, going even beyond the Human Security Act of 2007 or 2008.
Yeah.
Kaya palagay ko, si Sister Mary John, medyo nag-aalala rin, pero hindi naman yan natatakot, I think.
Pakinggan natin si Sister.
Natakot ka ba, Sister?
Sister, how do you feel about it? Nabanggit na komunista kayo. Saan ba nag-ugat yun? Ano ba talaga?
Ewan ko, sa kanila. Silang tanungin mo. Kasi nung araw pa yan, yung tinatawag ng red baiting, yun nga sinasabi ko, basta you are for the poor, you are for the oppressed, and you are going to the streets and saying you're nagrarally ka, sa kanila komunista na yun eh. Di ba? So that is, yun ang pinagmumulan yan. Di ba?
Okay. Pero even...
Kahit wala kang card. Kung meron daw card.
Okay. Pero kayo po yung aktibo sa Association for Major Religious Superiors.
Actually,
ano ba yung mga issues na hinaharap ng major religious?
Actually, wala na ako sa major religious superiors. Hindi na ako major superior. But I am in the women and gender desk of the AMRSP. Pero wala na ako dun sa administrative council.
Wala na sa council. Pero ano yung mga activities ng asosasyon?
Alam ko lang yung amin. Yung AWDC. Yung, kasi ang tutok namin kasi women eh. Ang tutok namin kasi is a Women and Gender Desk of the AMRSP. Kaya, ang aming issues are women. So, kagaya ng violence against women, oppression of women, women trafficking, yun ang aming issues ngayon.
Yeah. And what have you noticed over the years? Lumalaba yung sitwasyon that you really got involved to the point that you're being accused of being a communist.
Because of I am for women? Ano ba yan? Parang wala yatang logic doon.
Wala
Diba?
logic. Pero you know,
ano ba yan?
Once you deal...
Wala nga silang logic eh. Kahit na nga, basta ikaw ay active. Sa akin, there's difference between aktivista and terorista. Diba? At saka even, let's say, communism. Let's talk about it theoretically. Yung bang, sa ano ba, sa law or sa whatever, ang mga revolutionary movements are not terrorists. Di ba? I mean, yung tinatawag nilang, ano tawag yan? National Liberation Movements. Ang National Liberation Movements ba are terrorists? Not necessarily. Yung mga ISIS, yung mga ganon, Abu Sayyaf, okay, ako, bilib ako doon. Pero yung mga liberation movements all over the world, are they considered terrorists? Not unless they really do terrorist act. Ang ibig sabihin no, yung they foment a panic, they do yung mga bombings, yung anong pangalan nito, yung ano yan, yung ginagawa nila, nilalagay yung bomba sa kanilang katawan, yung mga ganon. Diba?
Bombs.
But I mean to say, sa terminology na lang, there's a difference between national liberation movements and terrorism. Diba? That is.
Okay.
Yun. And there is also a difference between being an activist and being a member of an ideological group. Iba pa rin yun. So there should be nuances in this, hindi ba? Hindi yung basta, ito nakikita mong ginagawa, ito na kaagad. Komunista yan. At kung komunista yan, terorista yan. Ano bang pag-iisip yan? Ang babaw, ang tingin ko.
Okay. Pero siguro, Attorney Cora, yung sitwasyon kasi, siguro liwanagin natin, wala nang kamandag yung anti-subversion law, kung di ako nagkakamali. Nabago na yan noong panahon ni Ramos. Pero how different is this anti-terror bill na pinag-uusapan at maaring pirmahan ni Pangulong Duterte o pabayaang mag-lapse into law?
Well, this anti-terror bill is too broad. Yeah, that's one. And at the same time, very specific as well, no? So, meron kang yung mga period of detention, sino yung mga ano dyan, sino ang mag-i-implement, you know, you have the Anti-Terrorism Council that will implement it, which is the NICA. And, you know, alam naman natin kung anong pinanggagalingan ng mga institusyon na yan, no? Kahit sabihin nila na may interagency pa yan. Totoo na yung panahon ni Ramos ay wala na yung tinatawag na anti-subversion law, no? Kaya nga kailangan nilang i-review yung Human Security Act. You know, even if you look at why we have had that Human Security Act back in 2008, you remember yung after the bombing in the United States, no? So
9/11.
And yeah, the 9/11, and then they reviewed. In fact, many of the provisions were there in the anti-terror bill that is now with the president, and they made that worse actually. So yan yung mga pinag-uusapan ngayon. Depende kung saan ka nang gagaling. If you are particularly the human rights community, both the lawyers and the layman and the activists that are currently involved, including media, are looking at this because of its dangerous provisions.
Okay, pero may binabanggit yung mga author nito na hindi lang naman daw sa Pilipinas may ganitong batas. In fact, sinasabi in other Asian countries, mas malala kaysa sa Pilipinas. Ano yung inyong pagsusuri dito, Attorney Cora?
Ang malaki kasi yung pagkakaiba natin sa ibang bansa, no? Siyempre, sinasabi nila na halimbawa sa Singapore, pwedeng ma-detain ng isang tao ng mas matagal, you know, parang may pa-contest pa nga eh. Yung Southeast Asia, they're trying to compare, no? But then the Philippines, very explicit, and it's not walang gray area dyan, no? Talagang sinasabi niya kung ano ang provision in terms of our rights and liberties. Which the other countries, if we narrow it down to the ASEAN countries, no, they don't have that. So I think that even our Constitution of 2007, note, hindi yan perfecto, no? Marami tayong hindi provision dyan na hindi natin masyadong gusto, pero that was the best that we can have at that moment.
At that moment.
And it came from a particular experience. Si Sister Mary dyan, alam niya yan, no? Nabuhay siya sa panahon na yon. At marami, talagang very suspicious. You don't have to be very, very skillful or very knowledgeable of the law. If you look at the anti-terror bill, you could easily spot that there are other intentions behind it, and you know that where it is coming from, no? Particularly at this period where what's surprising is that pinasa nila ito sa panahon ng pandemya, di ba? Talagang foul, there was even one staff of a senator who said that, they have notified all the social movements, yung mga pinadalan daw kami ng imbitasyon pero hindi raw kami sumisipot.
Yeah, so excuse me, sa Congress sumipot ako.
Okay.
Ang Senate hindi nag-imbita. Pero I have to say the Congress had a parang session na dumating kami, di ba? Pero hindi naman nila ginamit yung sinabi namin kasi they adopted naman the Senate in toto. Di ba? So what for is that sana I was already praising them. O tingnan mo yung Congress nag-ask ng opinion ng mga organization. Ang Senate wala, basta napasa. Pagkatapos pag dinala sa kanila, they naman adopted everything in toto. What for pa sila nag-ask ng kunyari meron pang consultation
So, Sister Mary John, are you saying that with what happened, those experience nyo, the House of Representatives is a stampad of the executive?
Excuse me, very obvious ba? Tingnan mo yung mga past nila. Tingnan mo yung 1,000 budget for CHR. Diyos ko, kung matino ka bang tao, you will pass that. Hindi. Yung about death penalty. Yung mga ganun ba na, may mga tao akong kilala doon na on their own, they're intelligent enough na they will not vote for that. Nagtataka nga ako, I'm so disappointed that these people, ganun ang boto nila. In fact, I texted some of them and said, disappoint naman kayo.
Ano sagot sa inyo?
Wala.
Baka hindi ko nakarating.
Sagot ang ganon.
Baka hindi nakarating yung message.
Hindi, nakarating.
Okay. Attorney Cora, do you see something sinister, something deeper into the way they pass the anti-terror bill? What's the ulterior motive? Is it to silence dissent or people who disagree with the government?
Well, we can look at the actual experience and the happenings that are going on. There's a lot of clamping down of media, even kahit hindi lang dito sa Metro Manila, pero kahit sa ibang lugar sa probinsya, isa yan. Malinaw din naman na nakikita natin yung may mga aresto na nangyayari sa lalo na sa Mindanao na hindi natin nababalitaan. So these things, I wouldn't you know, I mean, you said it, something sinister, something suspicious. You know, when a lot of opposition and to the government, people become more articulate and more resistant to what's going on. Matanong ang mga tao kasi nga hindi nila nakikita yung sinasabi pumapantay yung ginagawa, no? Kaya para patahimikin at pasunurin ang mga tao, gagawa ka ng mga measures to rein in people. This is not something really new, no? We've experienced this during the martial law years, you know. Magkakaiba nga lang yung pamamaraan siguro, pero pareho din lang naman yung purpose. Yung halimbawa, yung pag-organisa. Malaking bagay yan, no? Pag-organisa ng mga labor, mga basic sectors, importante. Kasi kung minsan, hindi naman pwedeng gawin lang sa paraan ng pagsusulat ng mga statement, kahit na marahil laging, alam naman natin na laging talagang merong protesta na kailangan gawin, no? And that is the power of the people. You know, you kind of stand up to be counted and to make yourself visible, no? And we can only do this if we organize. And
this is guaranteed in the Constitution and in a democratic space, right?
Yes. And if you remove that by coming up with the new laws and policies, then that's actually a measure of the government's fear, no? Actually, hindi naman talaga pwedeng patahimikin ang mamamayan, no? Meron panahon na maaari sigurong we step back a bit, but you know, we know that eventually we find our bearings and do something. This is reminiscent of the 1970s, Sister Mary Jan, no? Early 80s.
Walang dissent. Sa akin, walang democracy kung walang dissent. Kaya dissent is an essential part of democracy. So, bakit maalisin yun? Di ba? At saka, number 2, kung di ba meron na tayong law, meron na tayong anti-terrorist law, na ang definition pa ng terrorism, mas tingin ko, mas precise. Yung it is fomenting panic, mga gano'n. And ang umpisa pa lang, it should be an illegal act. Isa ngayon na hindi kahit na anong act, basta may intention ka to harm, ganyan. And another thing is, paano ba yan? Yung intention, ang punishment, pareho sa act. Ano yun? Bakit ang intention, you will promise you this, yung ginawa mo talaga, ganun din ang punishment. Anong klaseng, kaya hindi ko makita yung sense, no? At saka ito ngayon, di ba ang sabi natin, you are innocent until you are proven guilty.
Proven otherwise.
Ngayon, you are guilty until you are proven innocent. Ano ba yan? Hindi ba kabaliktaran yan ng ating alam na basic norm? Hindi ba? Sa law, hindi ba, Cora? Hindi ba you're supposed to be...
Actually, yung pinapalitan nitong anti-terror bill na nakasalang ngayon, nasa presidente. Yung una, ito yung Human Security Act.
Yeah.
Merong penalty per day, no? Remember, it's 500,000 a day. Oo. Tinanggal 'yon. At meron isang congressman yata galing sa militar na sabi niya, kaya daw hindi nila na pakinabangan ng gusto yung Human Security Act at hindi nila na-implement ng maayos dahil dun sa provision na yon. So kailangan nila tanggalin yung multa.
Dapat alisin.
Oo. Kaya if you look at the anti-terror bill now, it's not there anymore.
Okay. So wala na yun. doon sa
Wala na yon.
akusasyon.
Wala na silang multa.
Pwede
Okay.
na nila basta ipreso kung sino-sino kahit na kailan nila gusto. Kasi wala namang multa. Eh sa akin, pwede namang okay. Kung yun lang pala ang problema, eh di alisin mo yun or bawasan mo ng konti. Pero kailangan bang palitan ng buong law, pati yung definition ng terrorism, ipapalawak mo na parang lahat ay pwede ng gawing terrorist? Eh yun lang pala ang objection nila yung multa na yun. Eh di pag-usapan kung paano mo mapapababa o ganito. Eh bakit mo papalitan yung buo?
Mhm. Okay. Ngayon, Attorney Cora, ang sinasabi, it's up for the President not to sign or to sign.
Mm.
Given the situation, malaki ang posibilidad na maipatupad ito at maging batas. Paano ang tingin ng mga abogado? Is there a way out in the first place?
Well, ina-anticipate naman na, either way, pwede niyang hindi pirmahan, pwede niyang pirmahan, no? But the problem remains there. And I think that if Duterte will not sign it,
It will still be law.
just a matter of, this is not the right time to do it. I mean, that's my reading, But I think that if he signs it, the lawyers, there are different kinds of lawyers, different groups. We're all preparing for that big possibility. In fact, it is in fact expected, no? So we are already preparing for to bring this before the Supreme Court, no? A question of law, maybe, or
Constitutionality?
grounds, no, to defeat it. But I mean, again, kung minsan ang feeling nga namin parang kung minsan merong debate diyan, among lawyers, especially dun sa konteksto na hawak ng presidente ang loob ng marami sa ating mga justice, no, ng Supreme Court.
So, pwede?
Yeah. Sige po.
Cora, ang dinig ko, kung hindi sinayna ng presidente, it will become a law. Parang it will take time lang, but kung hindi niya isa-sign, hindi ibig sabihin na hindi niya ang law. After a certain time, it will become a law. Kahit na hindi niya sinaynan. Totoo ba yun?
Ganun nga, sister. Kasi nga, meron siyang veto power. But the Congress have the right to
Override?
To come up with a law, no, to pass the law. So if the president does not veto it, then it is the law. Ganun yan. So either way, kagaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, pirmahan niya o hindi, talagang kailangan dadalhin mo ito sa posibleng institution. And we're looking at the Supreme Court at the moment. But then again, this is a double-edged way of doing it. Mayroong tayong mga kasamang ibang abogado na sinasabi nila na dadali natin yan sa Supreme Court, pero alam naman natin kung ano ang loob ng ating mga justices. So pag sinabi nila na ano yan, legal yan, pwede naman. But we always take that route. You gamble actually and say that we can eventually expose that this Supreme Court is is actually not doing its work, rather than just abandoning that opportunity. Kasi isang institusyon, branch of our government that should look into the legality of the law, and we are hoping that they would actually look at the Constitution and base their decision on the Philippine Constitution.
Yeah.
Which is
I've been watching newscasts over Al Jazeera every morning, and there are countries where they've enacted laws making it a criminal act to criticize their president or their prime ministers. And the lawyers have been protesting. Pero hanggang dun lang sapagkat walang magawa yung Korte Suprema. Are you seeing the possibility that it could happen in the Philippines? Attorney Cora?
Well, hindi remote na pwedeng mangyari yan, no? Kasi ang dami na niyang kung ngayon ay gagawin ng mamamayan yung mga ginawa na mga sinubukan natin, you know, you have people's court there where you present the crimes that you could possibly charge the present government, including the president. There's a lot, no? But again, for them to be doing this at a time when people cannot travel, cannot go out, cannot converge, cannot get together, it seems, you know, really a suspicious situation. If you are looking at, you know, being fair, our government is not being fair. No, they're not giving the full opportunity for people to be able to exercise their rights.
Okay. Now, Sister Mary Jan, in the event that this anti-terror act gets to be a law with or without the signing of the president, how will this impact on your kind of mission? How will this impact on your work?
None. I will just do what I am doing. That's it.
Okay.
It will have no impact on me. I'm sorry. Pasasabi lang ni Lacson ngayon na I'm not a terrorist.
Ganun?
Kaya meron ngayong parang Zoom. And one of my friends is attending it. Si Mac. Pero sa atin yung yung pa sinabi mong tinitingnan mo, si Maan ata yung nag-moderate na kagaya mo. There is a part there, tinawagan ako ng aking kaibigan na, sabi ni Lacson, hindi terrorist si Sister Mary Jan.
Okay. Pero sinabi ni Senator Lacson yon at sinabi rin ni Secretary Andanar, pero hindi naman yun ang tingin sa iyo ng members ng council, paano ka?
Ayaw ako. Aarestuhin ako. Sabihin ko, arestuhin niyo muna si Imelda. Siya nga 4 na kasong convicted, but hindi siya ina-arrest. Hindi ako magpapa-arrest kung hindi niyo arestuhin si Imelda. Di ba?
Hindi na terrorist yun eh.
Convicted na yun eh. Convicted na yun eh. Di ba? At saka ako, I am 82, excuse me. Bakit si Enrique hindi pwede kasi matanda na siya. Ako rin. Di ba? So, ano kinakatakot mo ngayon?
Actually, alam mo, Melo,
this is something that I am doing. Whether anti-terrorist law or not, I will do what I think is right and just. And I will not let it affect what I do. Definitely not.
Actually, Melo, si Sister Mary Jan, medyo nagmelo na yan.
It came with age.
Kaya na yan. Medyo nagmelo.
Kaya alam mo, Melo.
Konti.
Teka, alam mo nga, yung tinanong nga ako about itong libelous, alam mo na kung sino, sabi ko, you know, when I'm thinking about it, I find it like a compliment. Kasi, kung wala ka palang epekto, bakit sila mag-raise ng type to demolish you, no? Ibig sabihin, meron pa akong epekto. That's good. That means I'm still full of sap, still green. I still have skin.
Ibig sabihin, may asim pa, sister.
Oo. So, ibig sabihin, kung hindi ka effective, hindi ka nila titirahin. So, because tinitira ka nila, that is a very great proof to me that I'm effective. Diba? So, I consider it a compliment. Excuse me.
Okay. Pero, hindi lang kayo yung naglilingkod sa communities. Ang isang halimbawa dyan, si Father Picardal ng Redemptorist.
Pero wala na yun. Nandun na sa Italy yun.
Nasa Roma na. Tapos,
pero si Flavie ang nandito pa.
Yung isang kaibigan natin, si Sister Patricia Fox, nasa Australia na.
Oo, sabi niya, alam mo, tinext ako ni Patricia, sabi niya sa akin, you must be doing something right. Sabi niya sa akin.
Alright.
So,
Okay. Pero ano ba yung mission talaga ng religious? Let's focus on it. Let's be clear about it. What do you usually do aside from teaching the rosary or praying the novena?
excuse me, hindi man ako nag-novena eh.
Sige po. Okay.
Or do we have a neighborhood rosary every 5 o'clock? No?
Okay.
So it's okay, but ako I'm excused for today because of you. You know, actually, like I told you, very simple logic. Christ has an option for the poor. Okay? We, religious, are supposed to be followers of Christ. In fact, radical followers of Christ. Therefore, if you are a follower of Christ and He has an option for the poor, then you should have also an option for the poor. Otherwise, why you really be called followers of Christ? Now, if this poor, who is the reference of Christ, is being oppressed, is being, what do you call that, abused, is being persecuted, ikaw, you have an option for the poor, wala ka ba gagawin? Of course, you have to do something. You have to help them. You have to see how you can be their voice. You must see how you can help them to have a redress of their grievances, etc., etc. Otherwise, what is the use of saying that you are a follower of Christ when you are not doing what Christ would do? You know? And nagtataka nga ako yung sa mga nag-aan sa akin, yung mga trolls against me. Bakit daw ako, ganyan daw ang salita ko? Sabi ko, gusto ko sabihin sa kanila, do you know what Jesus said to the scribes and Pharisees? You brood of vipers, you whitened sepulchre. My goodness, my language is even less than that. Less politically incorrect. Diba? Siguro pag si Jesus na nagsalita ngayon, sabi lang, politically incorrect si Jesus. Kasi you brood of vipers who whiten sepulchre. Kanina sinabi yon sa mga leaders of the people, excuse me. Hindi siya uto-uto. So kung sasabihin nila na ang ginagawa ko when I make a critique of what I consider not correct in the government, I am doing what Christ did. Hindi po nga ako tinatawag na demonyo. May mga nagtatawag sa akin demonyo kasi some people say I need exorcism. Sabi ko sa isa nagsabi sa akin, you need exorcism. Sabi ko sa kanya, thank you if you care for my soul. But I am glad that Cardinal nandito siya. And the Pope do not have the same mind as you. Sabi ko. But anyway, I am sending you all the blessings and the healing graces of God so that it will met the hatred in your heart.
Okay. Tapos, I started.
The end of the critique.
Okay. Attorney Cora, given such a situation, what do you foresee with or without the President signing it into law? Ano nakikita mong impact nito sa mga nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang communities?
Akin lalong magtatrabaho.
Okay. No problem. Cora?
I do not know if there are missionary or sister who will, because of that law, will censor themselves. No way. What you are doing is something that you believe in, and you believe that that is what God wants us to do. So what kind of human law will make you not do what you think you should do?
Yeah. From a lawyer's perspective.
Actually, Melo, ganito yan. Ano yan parang ang tawag dyan, yung scare tactic, no? Sister Mary Jan is a, would consider her a personality or ano bang tawag dyan. Ayokong tawaging model. Pero a lot of the madres look up to her, no? Hindi lang nung panahon na nasa AMRSP siya, pero hanggang ngayon, no, she's still very visible in the social movements community. So if and I'm happy that and I expected, actually, I know her that much to know that she is not going to buckle down. And yun yung contrary dun sa expectation ng ating mga nananakot Kaya this will actually, it will not be good for them because the more, I wouldn't call it persecution or whatever, people will tend to find their bearing and fight back. So that's the iba-ibang pamamaraan yan, no? At nakikita na natin ngayon na hindi naman hindi naman tumatahimik ang mamamayan, no? Lalo na ang mga progresibong mamamayan, no? Iba't ibang grupo yan. At despite the paghihigpit, no? Nakikita natin na unti-unti ay lumalaban at nagpoprotesta, no? Ako ay nagugulat dun sa, if you look at the Independence Day commemoration that we have had, no? The strength of the youth movement is there. And the basic sector, yung mga manggagawa, talagang gagawan yan ng paraan. And it's only a matter of time when, and I also suspect no, this matagal na paglalagay sa quarantine period natin, bukod sa hindi nga mahusay yung gawain ng ating gobyerno at mga institusyon na dapat ay tumitingin dito sa problema ng COVID pandemic sa kasalukuyan, ay meron pa itong kasama dun sa paghihigpit na ito. Kaya naririnig natin na lalong-lalo na pagdating sa mga DILG, they say that they have not been able to really implement the emergency measures because they don't have the anti-terror bill. Wala raw silang panghahawakan, hindi raw nila ma-implement effectively. And I think that's a wrong notion or a wrong reason that they're giving us. This is actually tantamount to covering up, the inefficiency of our government and the corruption that goes with it. If you go down to the community, you will really discover how the barangays and the local governments are implementing this advance housing, itong ayuda na binibigay na 8,000 sa mga
yung social amelioration program.
Yeah, the social the AAP ba yun? Oo. So may mga kaso na kaming mga na-document, sinasabi namin sa mga kakilala natin sa barangay na i-document nila yan kasi ang nangyayari ay bali dalawa na yung social amelioration program na ibibigay, di ba? So that's equivalent to 16,000. We have had so far we have documented 2 cases, no. I will not mention here the barangay itself, but I can give that to you, Melo. And where they are approached, no, to they're given a name that they will mention when they go enlist for the SAF, no, for the and parang madali lang, no, and then pero ang sasabihin sa kanila, out of the 16,000, you'll have to give us 5,000, no, kasi nag-iipon na raw yung barangay ng gagastahin nila para sa susunod na eleksyon. So merong kasong ganyan. I don't know.
Foresight, ha? May foresight.
Oo. So hindi natin alam kung saan pa, no. So our advice to them, tinanong ako kung ano yung pwede nilang gawin. Kasi natatakot sila, magrereklamo sila, di pag-iinitan sila ng barangay. At saka talagang mukhang goons daw yung mga lumalapit sa kanila, no? Kung magsusumbong sila, kung hindi naman nila tatanggapin, ayaw nila rin tanggapin. So, sabi ko, it is difficult if you will complain now openly. You need to document this, and eventually we need to organize people so that you don't get the the brunt at this early stage
Yes.
of this thing, no? Kung sa barangay level ganun na, no? 5,000 ang isa. Di magkano kaya sa mga sa provincial level, no? You can imagine where that 275 million pesos went.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right. Malupit pala, no? Okay. Sister Mary Jan, let's look forward. Sa mga susunod na araw, ano po yung mga gagawin ninyo? Baka mabansagan na naman kayong komunista eh. Kabuti na yung alam namin doon sa inyong activity sa gender and women and like that. Yung
Nasa quarantine tayo eh. Ang mga seminars namin hindi na magawa. Kasi hindi naman kami lahat ng ginagawa ko ngayon is through media, no? Yung mga statements ko na they find so strong. I can do that only in my FB. Pero ang dami naman talagang actually yung mga nangyari, all of a sudden I realized, ang dami mga tao na nagbigay sa akin ng support, ng solidarity, na hindi ko makakilala, alam mo? Na ano tuloy ako na overwhelm ako. Sa karaming mga tao na talagang they really want reform in this country, transformation, they want the good of the people, etc. Talagang na-overwhelm ako sa support na natanggap ko talaga. Parang blessing in disguise.
all right.
well, yung tanong mo, Melo, tungkol sa ano, no? Halimbawa, meron ng pag-aaral pagpipingin, no, kung at pagsusuma kung ano ang impact nito sa kababaihan, no? Kasi sa WGC hindi lang naman religious women, or particularly religious women, but our religious women belong to communities. It's not only the religious communities, but they are in the midst of the barangays and all this, no? At malaki yung nakita nilang bilang yung pagtaas ng domestic violence, no? At
Really?
these things, coping with these things include whether it is the victim, survivor, or even those that are supposed to be helping them. You cannot do this online. There's no such thing, no? Kaya itong physical restrictions that is upon us is really a big disadvantage for women and their children. Kaya kung minsan ang ating mga kababaihan ay kailangan mong tanggalin dun sa bahay kung saan sila ay binubugbog at inaabuso.
Tumataas pa ang violence against women ngayon.
Oo, sister, talagang hindi lang dito sa Maynila kundi sa ibang panig.
Okay.
Well, it's not only true for the Philippines, it's also true for other countries actually.
Yung naging trend na worldwide. Yeah, okay. Sister Mary Jan, what could have triggered this? Parang mga lalaki na napapraning dahil sa kawalan ng pera, walang trabaho, walang kinabukasan.
Ano ang tanong mo?
How do you look at it? Bakit nag-i-increase yung violence against women?
Kaya nga kasi, first of all, nandyan lagi sila sa bahay, hindi ba? Noon halos the whole day wala sila sa bahay, hindi ba? Ngayon, nandyan sila lahat sa bahay at sila ay bored and ganyan-ganyan, konting anong pangalan nito, irritation, sino ang pagtutuunan nila ng kanilang galit, kundi yung kanilang asawa, hindi ba? Pati mga anak nga marami pa nga daw binubugbog ng mga anak ngayon. Kasi nga, ang mga lalaki hindi sanay na nasa bahay. Lagi sila kasing wala. Ngayon nandun sila, tapos anong ginagawa? Parang they feel so frustrated siguro at saka oo, tapos lalo na kung wala silang maipakain din sa kanilang pamilya. Pero the thing nga is ang masaklap nga diyan ang pinagbubuntungan nila ng kanilang irritation yun din kanilang minamahal sa buhay. Kaya di ba statistics na yun na tumataas nga ng almost 200% ang violence against women and children dito sa pandemic situation na to.
Yeah. I was in Bicol some time ago, Sister Attorney Cora. There's a barangay in Baaw, Camarines Sur. na doon daw sa barangay, mula nung nagka-lockdown, 65 na yung buntis. Dahil sa lagi nasa bahay, walang nagagawa, dumarami. Magkakaroon ng maraming anak in the coming days. Pero we don't know whether it's still part of abuse. Baka ganun. Kaya nagbubuntis ka agad yung misis.
Well, of course, it's abuse if it is rape. O, di ba?
Okay. Mabuti na pa pag-usapan natin to. Cora, bukod sa terrorism pala, domestic violence is another issue. What's your message sa ating interview ngayong araw na to?
Well, mauna na ba ako, sister? Message. Well, of course, sasabihin ko na kailangan patuloy ang ating pag-iingay at pagtutol sa anti-terror bill na ito. At mahalaga pa rin yung ating information and educational work when it comes to this. That is our way of empowering our citizens so that they can understand what's going on and really stand up to be counted and oppose not only the anti-terror bill but a lot of things that are happening around us during this pandemic. I would also say that hindi tayo dapat mawalan ng loob. Patuloy na pagsuporta sa ating mga kasama at mga kaibigan at mamamayan na nasa na mahihirap at nasa sitwasyon na sila ay naabuso, nahihirapan at nawawalan ng hanap buhay. It's actually I think we should not lose hope that something good, if I would say that, will come out of this. But it is also very helpful for us to discern and learn lessons from this and be more critical of our government and of what's happening.
Attorney Cora, hindi mapansin ito ng mga tao dahil sa ang worry ng karamihan anong kakainin namin, anong trabaho. Kaya hindi mapapansin itong terror bill na ito?
Alam mo, ito yung pati kami nagulat eh. Kung titignan mo yung at some point na sapawan ng anti-terror bill, yung balita tungkol sa COVID-19 pandemic. No? At a certain point, no? I think when this was going on and if you look at the media hits and all these things, it is a surprise that people are reacting to the brazen na ginawa ng Kongreso. No? Malinaw naman eh. Hindi natin kailangan masyadong detalyeng ipaliwanag pero nakikita ng mga tao at sa balita ay kahit na sa pagtatanong sa kanila at mga sagot ng ating mga kongresista, alam natin na either hindi nila alam yung ginagawa nila, marami sa kanilang ganyan, no? Or talagang sumusunod lang sa kung ano ang itinatakda ng
Alright. Sister Mary Jan, how do you look at the coming days? Sabi ng Chinese, may you live in interesting times. Pero for some, it's more of a curse than a blessing. How do you look at the coming days?
Situation na hindi ka makapagplano because you do not know the factors. Diba? That is what is so frustrating about this. You cannot make a 1-year plan, a 2-year plan, kahit na siguro a 2-month plan, wala kang magawa. Yung pwede mong gawin, like me, I'm doing something at least through media, nagiging controversial pa ako sa Twitter. Akala ko, since wala na ako sa kalye, wala na makakapansin. Yung pala, isang sentence ko lang,
Nakakatawag pansin.
Mga tao. O yun pala kung yun yun ang aking role ko, maging irritant. So, again, I will do what I think is right to do. Kung merong nakikita akong mali, pupunahin ko. At ang tingin ko, siguro sabi mo, ano ba yung message ko sa lahat?
ang tingin ko, ang takot, nakakahawa. Pero ang katapangan ay nakakahawa rin. Kaya, kung lahat tayo, gagawin natin yung dapat natin gawin in spite of threat, I think people will get strength also from us to do what they should do in spite of threat. So yung gano'n,
Mhm.
huwag tayong maghawa ng takot. Maghawa tayo ng tapang.
Okay. Pero wala kayong problema sa kongregasyon. Ha? You're free to do what you want to do. Ha?
Well, I am free to do what I should do, not what I want to do. I mean to say, no one of us just wants to do, just does what one wants. But what one feels, one has to do.
Mm.
Ang congregation ko, I have absolutely no problem with them. They trust my judgment. They trust me as a person. So that is the one thing that I'm most grateful for my congregation and community. I have all their support.
Okay. All right. Meron akong natatandaan, isang taong simbahan. Ang pangalan niya ay si Dom Helder de Camara. Ang sabi niya, when I give food to the poor, they call me a saint.
Aha.
I ask, why the poor have no food, they call me a communist.
Okay. Ayun, ganun na yun.
So maraming salamat po sa inyong panahon ngayong araw na ito. Attorney Cora, Sister Mary Jan, have a nice day. God bless us all. Thank you.
Bye.
Salamat, Melo.
Thank you.